it's only in front of the sun. Right? You can see the streaks like all the way down, but it's not north, not as much. I mean, there's still plenty north, and there's not as much south. Just wait till you see. Look at this. All this man-made schmutz. Here we go again. Very schmutzy. Mutty? Mutty? Cole! Hello. How are you today? How's everything going with you? Midwest getting hit heavy with chemtrails right now. Has been for the last couple days. But that's just a conspiracy theory. Come on. All those lines and waves and shit, that's not HARP. That's not chemtrails. It's planes flying because it's cold. And granted, this happens when it's warm too, but never mind it. Look at that shit. Look how heavy that is. Jesus. It's pretty vicious. They know everyone is outside due to the nice weather they made. Exactly. I mean, if you actually pay attention to when they do it, it's in the mornings, you know, when a lot of kids are going to be outside on their way to the bus stops, you know, or I mean, I've noticed the afternoon thing. You know, it generally starts at like 2:30 or so, and they just hammer heavy, hard, heavy for the next, you know. It's just it's consistent. They do it, you know, when the kids are out of school. That's basically what I mean. It's pretty obvious if you just pay attention. I think that's the problem. Is most people just aren't paying attention. How does anyone support Israel other than they're either not paying attention or they are and they're just psychopathic pieces of shit? It's literally that simple. There's only two ways around it. There are only two ways about it. You're either just fucking ignorant and just in your own fucking world, or you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit, J piece of shit. Like it's just that simple. It's so strange that people think like when I say I'm proud of my anti-Semitism or I proudly hate the Jays, like you should too. Especially if you're not one of them, because they hate you. They absolutely hate you. And if you think it's anything other than that, you're foolish. I don't know what else to say. Like, what parts, like, show me the video of somebody walking around Israel and everybody going, yay, America, hi, America, we love you, America, we love Americans. Show me the video. So plenty of videos from everywhere else where people do that. They barely can speak English, but they know, like, we love American, we love America, yay. The Jays hate us. Like, what are you even talking about? What do you base your anything toward Israel? I really don't. Other than you're oblivious. I mean, I guess, I don't know how you can be oblivious unless you are just completely out of the loop. Like you're off the grid and shit. That's just about the only way I could see sort of justifying, you know, somebody who's off the grid, they read their Bible, they know. I mean, again, I don't understand how, as a biblical person, as a Christian, You don't understand that they are the bad guys in the Bible. They killed your Jesus. So even the people that are off the grid only get the Bible, blah, blah. I don't understand. Why would you ever believe in something, support something that paints you as secondary and you know, a group you can't belong to being the chosen people? Who is the bad guys in the Bible? Abraham? The children of Abraham? Really, really simple. It's not Satan. Satan's not in the Bible. Like, the crazy part is how J it actually is. Like, the entire Bible, it's really obvious. It comes out of Second Temple Judaism. It's J at its core. I mean, all of the characters are J's. All of the people that supposedly have conversations with God, they're all J. And God's like, oh yeah, you know, you get to own all that land that you can, all that. That's all of Canaan. That's all yours now. You just go into that town and you tell them, I said. And that's basically how it is. You're not missing much. It's the same conversation it always is. Let's be real. You could pretty much jump into this anytime and you know what we're talking about. Consistency. Speaking of consistency, what do you think those are made of? It's all just distraction. Whether it's gay stuff that Wally hates, or it's government, or whatever. It's all there to distract you. Yeah, you sure do look sick. Big old smile on your face, like, I pulled it off. You hear it calling, 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 calling. You good on juice? Mm-hmm. All right, just let me know when you're done. I'll get you some more. I love yous guys. We use dude. I just don't, you know, what's holding you back? Like, it's such a strange thing. Like, how many other, the right things, the good things, how many other things do you do where it's obvious that you're doing the wrong thing and you just do it anyway? But what it is, though, what I did, yeah, I got so many songs that I need to record. Probably have a whole album's worth that I need to get recorded. I think I've been finishing them up, touching the little pieces, getting everything perfect mathematically and grammatically and all that shit. And I'm really excited. I just need to get them done. Oh, so are you at work, Dilly Dilly? Are you working right now? Must be some dumb J, because they can't say anything else. They don't know what they're talking about. It's really goofy. Like, it's so funny how people will like come to this feed and be like, hey, I'm stupid. Like, why would you do that? What about business owners? Everyone's a slave. Until we override the system, we're all slaves. Understand that, like, the whole hourly wage thing, it all came about because of the end of slavery. Like, the work, the life that we live is all, they couldn't keep us slaves anymore. They couldn't openly keep us slaves. So Dilly Dilly is at work and on my YouTube feed. Makes sense.
You don't have a government job.
Yeah, you must be working hard. Unless this is your job. I mean, at the end of the day, I go live at the same time every day for whatever. Who's to say the rest of the day I'm not doing something? Wrong! Capital letters. Wrong! I'm yelling, so I use capital letters. Wrong! So stupid. Content screener. Yeah, that's what it is. More like Team Jorge. It's Team Jorge. These are the worst kinds of piece of shit, right? If that's seriously what your job is to go around and stop people from talking about things that don't fit the narrative, you're just an even worse piece of shit than you realize. My job is to stop free speech.
Well, that's a shitty job.
Well, you could be president, though. The president is at war with the Constitution and free speech.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, here we go. I got the same people here over and over again. What's the narrative? What is the narrative? There's plenty of them. But the main one is that the Jays are God's chosen people and that we have to accommodate that cult with every single aspect and every single thing everything has to be about accommodating the cult. It's pretty fucking simple. But the president is literally, the children of the richest, most powerful people in the world who can send their kids to Harvard and Yale and Columbia and all these schools, their children are being arrested for doing constitutionally protected activity. Isn't it amazing? Oh, I'm lying. Can you point out one thing I've lied about? Just one thing I've lied. Give me one thing. Because that's all I do is lie and lie and lie. Give me one thing. Is it that the Jays cut and suck baby penises? Am I lying about that? Am I lying about mikvahs and them thinking females' vaginas are disgusting? Am I lying about the genocide taking place? Am I lying about the whole Hollywoodism? Am I lying about everything said in Hollywoodism that they say? I'm just regurgitating it. See, told you were wrong. Based on what? Just because you say something, like I could tell you you're green doesn't mean you're green, does it? You sort of need the proof that you're gonna back your statement with, but still waiting for all those lies I'm talking about. Like, I love these stupid fucking clowns, right? They assume they're gonna get ignored, so they say stupid things, but then when they don't get ignored and they get called out, what do they say? Nothing. Nothing. I'm gonna make claims and then not back it up. It's pretty obvious, man. It's just like everything else. Again, the president is assaulting the First Amendment, like the amendment, the free speech. You are not allowed to protest against a foreign country's genocide of another foreign country. How does that even make sense? You said in pushing that narrative, oh, Jesus Christ, the desperation it takes. Like, I know if somebody's wrong and they say, what am I wrong about? I go, right there. You were wrong about that. You're wrong about that. You're probably wrong about this too, this, and this. But you're definitely wrong about that. Like, there's no game played. You don't have to figure it out. Like, look at this dumb shit. Just desperate. I can't actually debunk what you're saying, so I'm going to do this. It's amazing. Trump recently did an interview where he said he can't get the grocery prices down. Oh, well. I know how I ran on that platform that Biden and Kamala raised the grocery gas prices up on everybody. They did it to you.
I'm going to lower them. I'm going to lower gas too.
I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to lower it by half. Nope. Not even like lowered by 10%. Everything is just the same or more now. Like the gas prices, they've just been hovering at around the same thing. And it won't surprise me. Like if they drop the gas prices again, that's part of it. Don't be surprised. Don't be fooled by it. They drop the gas prices again for 6 months, a year. That'll be the thing that you'll see. Trump did it. Trump did it. It's all Trump. He said he would do it and he did it. Never mind that they're going back up. I'm actually really worried about this fall. Because I'm worried they're going to pull another COVID round bullshit. I see people with masks on all the time again. I don't understand what's going on. I see people walking around outside with masks on.
RSV.
Do you know how stupid you are to think that you're outside and you could catch something? Like, just think about it when compared to fluoride, right? You believe fluoride is safe because it's so many parts per million, it's very, very weak because there's so much water and so little fluoride put into it, which is stupid, but think about what it's like to have something exist in the air outside. You want to talk about, diluted? How would that even affect you? How would that even work? And of course, these people walk, I saw somebody walking around yesterday, it was fucking 30-something degrees outside. You think a virus, a living organism that was born and raised and only survived in an environment that was 98.6 degrees, hot, wet, inside of a body, can be expelled from that environment into a dry 30-degree plus environment, and they're just fine. They're just floating around, waiting for somebody to come breathe them in. You said submarines are not real. You are a liar. Yep, I am a liar. Nobody still thinks fluoride is safe. Really? 72% of the population drink it. Submarines are not real. You haven't proven I'm a liar yet. Nobody has proven that. Nobody has proven that I'm wrong about that, even in the slightest. But look at the desperation, right? You're going way, way back. I'm lying all the time, but you're going way, way back. You think the earth is flat, but we're the stupid. I don't think the earth is flat. See? You see how stupid you have to be? You have to be a fucking moron and make up your own kind of nonsense to be able to argue with me. You just did ask me something, Misty. So do you want to ask me something else? Why would you even ask if you have to ask something? This is social media. You do whatever you feel necessary. And as long as you don't do pedo shit, you are allowed to exist. Why do you walk around in circles? Well, I don't. I actually pace back and forth. But there's nervous energy. There's the very little exercise that I do get from it, because I don't do very much. There's the fact that I can't sit down for any long period of time like that, or else that'll hurt. And there's the whole notion of like, you know, public speaking tells you not to sit still. Don't stand there and don't move. If you're doing a speech, you should be walking back and forth. Not only does it keep your own blood flow going, but it keeps people engaged. Plus, another thing, I like giving people an excuse, right? It's how you can out people. The people that will focus on that, with all the different shit I'm talking about, the people that want to focus on that, says a lot about them. Well, you said you don't think it's round. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Now that's a different statement, isn't it? I don't think it's a round ball flying through space. Does that mean I think it's a flat frisbee flying through space? No. But that's stupid. And I've told you time and time again, because obviously you hang on every word I say, that the Earth shape is just another conspiracy, just another distraction that we actually can't know the answer to. It's just like so many other things that we'd like to know answers to, but we can't. It's impossible for us to know the answer in the narrative we live in. As long as the Jays control our narrative, we can't possibly know the truth. I mean, think about it. Why, with all of the press and all of the accolades and money and attention Joe Rogan has brought to this issue, why doesn't he use that same advantage to prove it? You said planets being round was false. So IDK, what shape you think it is? But you're wrong, and you should stop spewing shit that you have no clue in. I wouldn't have a problem if you said, I don't know, but you try to act like you know all the time, and you don't. You just don't. Right. I love how this is like crybaby. It's like, you know, how did he hurt you? Well, he said it's going round and it's round. What you talk about? I don't know. This person hates when I read you what you're supposed to know. You should have been a space engineer. Yes, I should have been a space engineer. What do you do for a living? I'm a space engineer. I engineer space. I mean, couldn't that be an interior decorator? Wouldn't they technically be a space engineer?
Yes.
Begging you to be logically honestly. This is just so stupid. The point is, you should be able to debunk what I say. Like how I say, they say this, or they say that. Well, that's not right because of this, and this, and this, and look at this, and look at this, and look at this, and look at this. All you ever do is go, you're wrong. You're lying. Why are you lying? Just because someone says it's round, we are supposed to believe it. I haven't been to space, so where is the proof? I'm leaving. See ya, chump. Obviously, you should. If this conversation is too intelligent for you, you should leave before you continue saying stupid things. He's consistent as fuck. If he was a space engineer, he would send someone to the bottom face of the earth and prove it's flat. You guys are talking about a space engineer. What the fuck is a space engineer? You've debunked submarines. This guy says, your mother, you called her stupid. This is the guy. Your mother? Oh, hey! Don't you talk about my mom! Oh, don't you Don't you say things about my mom. I'm going to fight because you said something about my mom. Beyond where, how stupid are these people? He must be from New York or something. IDK, what space engineer means, to be honest. Yeah, no shit. You tell people they're THERE stupid for their beliefs. Got the next there right, but got that one wrong. But you want to be respected for your beliefs, but if someone calls you stupid, you seem shocked. Do I? God, it's weird. I don't remember. WTV, lil bro, do another little dance for me. Aight, your mother, you just called your mother a dancer. Oh, forget about it. Your mother and your brother. Come on, keep showing us how smart you are and how dumb I must be. Oh, God, if it didn't represent like how stupid we are as a whole, it would be a lot funnier. You got donos on. I'm give you money for a new comb. Apparently, Mason likes his dudes to have their hair combed. I guess. How do you like your dudes with their hair combed? You like when dudes have short hair, Mason? Is that how you like your dudes? You like them with short hair and like what color do you like their eyes to be? Do you like them to be muscly or do you prefer like twinks or hunks? Which one do you prefer? Your mother.
Probably there.
You criticize every typo I make as if my quick texting errors is a sign that I'm dumb. It is. It's a very much a sign that you're stupid. I'd cook you in a live convo anyway, anytime. Right, I should bring you on. Somebody that can't make a single argument and who just cries, you're lying. I should bring you on the feed because you're going to be really interesting. You could cook me in the live, not so much in comments where you have all the advantage, but in a live situation where you could just scream a lot. Oh, oh. You ever seen what Israelis look like when they're interviewed? They just say dumb shit, and they get mad, and then they hang up. Only for you, since you my stepson. Okay. Dudes with long hair, greater than short hair, don't listen. I don't care what he says. All that knowledge doesn't know how to clean. So you like your dudes like clean shaven, short haired. You probably like them to shave all their body hair off too, don't you? You're one of those guys? I gotcha. Yeah, you're not going to dig me, dude. I thought you said you aight and you were leaving. I thought you were leaving because you were like, aight. See ya, chump. Wasn't that what? Aight. Because you're such a G. You should be able to make quick work if we make me. I already do. Why would I give you any sort of press? Like, you obviously want that. You obviously want that attention. And I've more than given you the opportunity. Anybody that wants to come on here and actually make reasonable arguments and, if you can stump me, if you can make an argument that I'm like, holy shit, I didn't even think about that. Wow, I'll absolutely bring you on. You can't. Funny you say I would scream the whole time when you have been screaming quite a bit this morning. Have you been screaming?
Y'all don't know him.
Huh. That's weird. Matt, what's going on? That collar is done for. Oh, so you like guys with nice shirts on too? You like your dudes? What kind of shirts do you like your dudes to wear? We get it. You like them clean shaven, shaved body hair, probably pretty white. Short hair, clean shirt on, nice, crisp. What else do you like? How else do you like your dudes, Mason? Mason, the dude liker. How tall do you like your dudes? I'd hate to be too tall or short for you. Come on, Mason the G. Come on, guy. Tell us about the dudes you like. Tell us how you like your dudes. Right. Oh, I forgot. I did forget the nice shirt, right? You like the dudes in the nice shirt. Gotcha. You like people who spend lots of money on clothes and jewelry and all sorts of accoutrement. Right? Got it. Dude, how much your shoes cost? You're one of those people that claps when they talk. And it's like, I got money in my pocket. How about you? I know I ain't smart enough to engage you in anything, but I got money in my pocket. How about you? I just happened to go to the bank earlier, so I got money in my pocket. Well, I got money in my pocket. Okay, wait, guy, don't get carried away. Who says dark men can't be twinks? I didn't say anything like that. I just said Mason probably likes white guys. Usually they do. No, he didn't say that out loud. LOL, punk. Don't have the balls to say it. What? Well, so you're like really, really dumb too, huh, Mason? Yeah, well, I guess that's sort of par for the course. By the way, that's a golf reference. That means you're pretty average. Par is the average score, so you get the average. It's okay. It's okay. Now I'm deflecting. What am I deflecting away from? What was said that I am deflecting from? Gotcha. Mason is 11 years old. Oh, now I'm losing. He's 11 years old. Oh. God, dumb kids, man. It's amazing. Like, it's scary how stupid these next generations are. They are just, and yet, they might be smart in the video games and shit, which just goes to show you that if they were given more options, they would have been just as smart. Since they were given the video games, that's what they're smart with. Every Mason I've met is a child. It's fucking stupid. Stupid. I mean, there's nobody like my age that's named Mason, that's for sure. If they are, they're very, very rare. Mason is
The oldest Mason I know is in his 30s. He's in the Army or Marines.
Ooh, who's this? Mm-mm.
It's one of my friend's kids. But other than that, we have a cousin named Mason. Chris's son Nick, his son is Mason.
Yeah, it's always young guys. That's a young name. That'd be like if I was like, that chick's name's Bertha, you'd be like, wow, she must be old. Nobody's name's Bertha anymore.
Although Alex named her daughter Clara after her great grandma.
Yeah, that's not as Bertha-y. Gertrude. Judith. She's like Judy, but she's Judith. Bernice. Yep. Not many Bernices. Guy. You don't see a lot of guys anymore, do you? No. Now Mason is calling somebody a coward. What a dumbass. Can you imagine that? Like, seriously, you need attention that much? Why aren't you at school, young man? You should be at school. I got kicked out of school. I do what I want. Whatever. My name's Mason. I belong to 3 gangs. Whatever. Oh, man. Seriously, I gotta stop being distracted. You know, this is the kind of dumb J nonsense that they want us doing. You know, so we're competing and fighting with each other and not talking about what's really going on. Can't be you guys. Yes, I must be the coward. That's why I go live on a live feed talking about what I think and feel and then read comments from dumb people because I must be scared. Like, do you understand? This person was like, oh, sweet, this'll get him, and type that out thinking that was a good thing. But scared to debate little old me. Yep, I'm terrified of you because you're too stupid to actually type anything that matters, but you'll say a bunch of really important shit. Come on. Won't read it out loud, but says he can't debate me because I'm looking for free publicity with 8 and 6 viewers. Yup. Yeah. No, I'm not going to bring you on my live to get you whatever attention you need because you're too stupid. Do you understand? It's because you're too stupid. If you were actually saying things that mattered, then I would consider it. But you're stupid. Why do you want to be live so bad? What does that matter? In the comment section, you have all the advantage, right? All you got to do is make sure you spell things correctly, which you have a hard time doing, while telling people how stupid they are. What all you have to do is come up with stuff. I'm the one that's on the fucking, with the spotlight. You know, if you said something to me that I couldn't answer for, everybody would see it. You'd see something like that. With you, all you have to do is sit there and think of it. You just make one reasonable point. Just make one. Let's see how well you do. Now, I typed the best shit in your chat. You typed the best shit. Oh, is that like how you cook me and stuff too? You can't even spell, Sensi. I'm surprised you spelled your own username correctly. Oh, wait, autocorrect. Right, like you're dumb. You don't know anything about the Abraham Accords. You don't know anything about the genocide going on. You don't know about the pedo stuff. You don't know about Hollywoodism. You don't know about fluoride. You don't know about stratospheric aerosol injection. You don't know about marine cloud brightening. You don't know about any of these things. So what's there to talk to you about? What do you want to debate so much? You don't know about submarines. Like, you don't know anything. What do you want so badly? Yeah, the cooking that you avoided yesterday by not reading one comment. The one comment I didn't see, that must have been the one. And then it's not like you could repeat that cooking comment. Nope. The one, I read a bunch of your nonsense and I'm reading it, but that one that cooked me so bad, I was like, ooh, it cooked me. God, kids are dumb, man. I would assume. I mean, how many adults do you know talk about cooked? I cooked you. You gonna, Gona, put your big boy pants on now and repeat my comment. I said, tell that big whale in the background to shut her mouth and clean up that dirty house. You are a huge whale. She is a, I'm telling you, my wife is so fat. How fat is she? She has more chins than a Chinese phone book. My wife's so fat she fell in love and broke it. My wife's so fat we have to iron her pants in the driveway. She's huge. Reading hard. Yep, reading hard. I love when you don't even know how to use proper reading is hard. Reading's hard. Reading hard. All right. Really hard to press. Give the kid some slack. He reading hard look. He reading hard look. Yeah, maybe there's a reason. You avoided that comment like the. Okay, so why won't you just say the comment again if it was such a cooker? You know which one, right? I know the comment that I didn't see. God, normally I don't engage in this stuff because it's too easy. That's the problem. I wish these guys were some sort of challenge. Right? There's no challenge here. They say the stupid shit. I just kind of repeat it back. There's no challenge here. When I said you don't know about all these different things, did he say, "Oh no, I know about these things"? No. Stupid is stupid does. Reading so hard. Literally, if it was me, when Guy reads my comment, taking to read the comment long, LOL, my face when. Yeah, see? That's my fault. Why don't I read that better? Literally, if it was me when Guy reads and my comment taking to read the comment long, LOL, my face when. What's wrong with me? I think he was saying he would have the same face as you. Okay, well, the being, you see how difficult that is when it's not fucking what it's supposed to say? Uh, 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 I mean, it's funny because it's the people that want the attention so bad that then earn the ignoring. you know, why would I continue to read your stupid nonsense when you have nothing to say? I do it to prove the point. There are times when I'll focus on the comments because I honestly believe, you know, these dumbass comments say a lot more than people think. You know, these people are here trying to disrupt, trying to fuck things up, which means if they could, like I've told you guys, if I'm wrong, that's the thing that's really gonna cook me. If you can show me what I'm wrong about, how I'm getting, like, make me feel stupid, that's gonna cook me. The arrogance in thinking that your dumb personal slights are gonna, like, I can't, I guess I've just gotten so far away from that I can't remember what that's really like. You know, I don't even get to see you. I don't even see what you look like. I don't know anything about you, your lifestyle, nothing. And you basically you exist in a little picture, a dumb name, and then the shit you continuously spell wrong or get wrong. Like, why would that ever bother me? How does that bother anyone? How do people get offended by random comments from people that are like, You know they're trying to upset you. You know, it's not like this is somebody that you've known for a long time that knows exactly how to cut you to the core, and then they're saying these. It's not like that. It's just random stupid people desperately trying to get attention. It's pretty amazing. But there's not enough stupidity in here. I'm being point. Sure. That was the comment you avoided yesterday. What was the comment I avoided yesterday? What are you fucking talking about? Why is that so difficult? If somebody asked me to make a point I had already made, I would be like, oh yeah, it's this. Well, I said it 2 days ago. I'm not going to say it again. If I say it again, it'll lock it up. Can't say it twice. It's so stupid. Like, I just don't understand how that brain works. But then at the same time, that's the type of brain it takes to be a Christian. That's the type of brain it takes to believe the earth is round. That's the type of brain it takes to believe in submarines and all these other fucking obvious things. But you don't, it all fits. It makes sense. And I constantly say, like, look, these guys are trying desperately day after day after day, looking for the slightest little thing I say wrong. If I stumble on my words or whatever, they jump right in on it. Get some math wrong or something. They jump right in on it if they notice it. They show that they're willing to call me out for things that I don't get correct. So when I'm making all these claims about the J genocide, about the J control scheme, the pedos, the fluoride, all of it, the fact that they don't use that same focus and tell me, nope, you're wrong about this, it says everything. It's them telling me I'm right. It's them telling you I'm right. I retyped it out, man, sent it to you, man. But you didn't. I just checked. Yeah, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Funny how the one super duper comment didn't show up again. What a surprise. Almost like you're lying. But, good thing I pay Matt. Good thing I pay Matt to go in and validate the thing I'm saying. So stupid. Oh. 2 messages ago. Let's see. That was the comment you avoided yesterday, and then you avoided that comment like the plague. Those are the 2 messages. But hey. Yep, I'm totally paid. 1 cent per comment. There you go. By the way, I can't pay you this week. I'm a little broke right now, so I'm gonna have to pay you next week. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure you get paid though. But we're not supposed to talk about this on the live feed. Isn't it crazy how desperate people can be? Like, again, doesn't the desperation, instead of just doing the thing, instead of just saying the thing, instead of putting me in my place and cooking me and smashing me, whatever word you want to use, this is what they do. It's shocking. It's shocking. But, it's actually me lying because I just can't handle it. How many times have you seen somebody say something that I can't handle? This time it's one. And then you have to think, like, what real life regular person is going to do that? Am I honestly supposed to believe there are real people out there that want to be cooked so bad every day, over and over and over again? Continuously proving my point. Is that really okay? The dude that gives me the J check for my disruptions is exactly the same guy that delivers Matt's paycheck. There you go. It's almost like they are trying a delusional distraction to make you feel dumb, but ironically, it just exposes their own ignorance and inability to come back with a valid statement. Exactly. This is like last resort kind of shit. They're desperately trying to find something. I did. I typed a really, really good, strongly worded, well typed, I typed a comment that really cooked you, man. It just didn't show up. But you don't care to be called stupid for what you believe. That comment came through. Funny how that one comes through. Absolutely, grasping for an excuse like a caught fish grasping for air. It's that obvious. Right? I mean, the Sensi character is one of the dumbest. And part of the stupidity is believing that they're not. Which it must be a bot, right? Because a human couldn't take it. A human wouldn't continuously look stupid and continue to put themselves in that position. A human would adjust things. A human would better themselves to be able to, it's like boxers don't, they don't fight somebody and lose and then just go into the fight the next time with the exact same strategy they lost with. As humans, we adjust and we adapt. And to think that these same dumb, I think a lot of us underestimate AI. We underestimate the capabilities of AI. But, I saw a guy talking to John Cena AI the other day, and it's amazing how AI can not only, have interpret what we say in real time. That guy was talking about old Yankee Stadium and how it was built and all that shit, and would interrupt the John Cena program to ask a question, and the program still just kept right up with it. AI is spectacular, but AI is limited by its program, and even AI. What is AI gonna say to validate the J's? What is the smartest, best worldly scholar in the world going to say that's going to validate the J cult? If they could, don't you think that would exist? Don't you think there'd be that famous video of that guy justifying the cult, making everything okay, and we'd all have seen it by now? I guess the long messages don't go through now. Oh, so send it in a couple of short ones. Your excuses are easy to get over. Probably because you can't see or hear me, and at this point, you don't believe anything you can't see or hear. Sounds like an AI answer. You could take the debate if you ever start feeling confident, right? Because, again, you are just so intimidating with your poor spelling and your inability to make arguments. But you can make excuses. I will give you that. You are quite the excuse maker. No, but if you don't make a valid point or to keep arguing a fact, then, of course, he's not going to perceive you with any respect, as respect is earned, not given. You can start a campaign about nearly any group. Why choose the Jays? How many Hindus do you think control the U.S. government?
Because of the effect and impact that group makes as a whole on the entire world.
No, but How many
Buddhists.
how many Buddhists are these huge Hollywood producers who have been caught fucking raping people, men, women, children, multiple times, and keep getting away with it? How many dual Uzbekistani citizens do we have in our government? How many dual Chinese citizens do we have in our government? How many black guys? Oh man, that was
I
funny.
mean, the second largest group that affects the world is Christianity, is the clergy. The Vatican and the Catholic Church and all the Christian denominations that sprinkle down from there. Other than that, like, those are the two main groups that affect our entire world.
Well,
our everyday
Muslims.
life.
Muslims too,
They
but
don't affect our everyday
yeah,
life.
they do. There's more Muslims than there are anyone else
There
in
are
the
more,
world.
but they don't affect things.
No, they are the.
The quiet, passive.
No, they're the. I mean, they're the distraction. You know, while everything you think all the bad stuff you think the Muslims do, they don't. The Jays actually do it.
They may be greater in number, but they don't affect the world the way the J group does. And then, very next in line, the fucking clergy in the church.
The fact that you don't understand that you haven't made any reasonable points, why would I care about bringing you live?
Well, and if you have been here for any amount of time, you would have seen the succession of things. For a while there, your target was the church and religion and Christianity and all that was, but then
Chemtrails and all the other things.
But that was before that.
Right.
Like the last real big one was the church. It's always been there, but that was, you were really focusing. And then as you got deeper into that, you realized who actually controls that too. And that's where you found the head of the snake.
She's talking out of her blowhole.
And that's who you're talking about now. Your focus is.
Yeah. It's always been about moving forward.
Okay, we're here, now let's get deeper. What makes that?
Right.
Okay, what makes that?
Right. And the problem is that as soon as you get to the J's,
there's not much.
It seems to stop.
Yeah.
Everything just sort of stops, and you go.
The answers. What makes this? Those answers are there when you look into that.
Right. I say it all the time. We make this mistake in saying that doesn't make any sense. That don't make no sense. When most things do make sense, it's just not according to the narrative that you believe. They make sense. It absolutely makes sense why an inferior, disgusting, mean, separatist group of people would do anything that they can to maintain the power that they have. Knowing they can't maintain that power through righteousness, through good things, because their belief structure is inherently poison. They know they can't just make it good and still exist. But it makes sense that they would, control the news, control the religion, control the media. Like, it makes sense. That's what you would do if you were tricking people. If you weren't actually as good as you pretend like you are, and you I'm gonna pat myself on the back here, but I go live to anybody in the world that thinks they can best me in the argument. I swim against the current. I go against the grain on just about every issue, and I put it out here. Hey, this is what I think. This is, tell me what I'm wrong about. Let's not focus on ad hominem shit. Focus on the issues at hand. And how am I supposed to take it that I've been doing this for years and most people are too stupid and cowardly to even try, but those that do end up being like Sensi. I'm supposed to feel intimidated or threatened or wronged by that stupidity? The fuck out of here. Where, who is going to feel inferior to that? I end up feeling like a champion. Like I'm a fucking professional boxer, and I'm, heavyweight champion of the world, and I'm in a tournament full of flyweight amateurs, and I get to fight. Like it's like, these are just one punch knockouts left and right. Their best punches, they just hit me. Oh, are you trying to tickle me? That's cute. That's literally how it works out. I don't I don't like it. I don't want it this way. I'm trying to sharpen my edge. I'm trying to lift as much weight as I can. I'm trying to get myself to peak performance. And the only way you get to be peak performance is by challenging yourself against the best. The boxing analogy is just the best one to me because it just works. Like, you don't bring in a bunch of sparring partners that are just shit.
She got her dude that she married, who's still in prison, on her fucking shoulder.
Who?
Nikki.
Gas station?
I mean, Rod did a beautiful job, but that's not the point.
Oh my. That's what I'm talking about. How does that stupid desperate exist? She's so desperate for an ideal situation and a guy that won't cheat on her and a guy that she knows where he is at all times and blah, 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 that she's willing to be married to and get a tattoo of a guy in prison who will be in prison for another
6 years, I think.
Like, it just, the poor girl. It's like, you are so stupid, you poor thing. How did you get this stupid? I wouldn't tattoo my wife's name on me. Why? Because I believe that's a bad thing.
I wished you didn't have your mother's maiden name on you.
I don't mind that one as much.
Well, you said that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it as much, but yeah, no, it's definitely there. It's more of something, but it's something I can't separate from. Whereas, my wife could get mad and leave at any point, and then I got this broad's name on me.
I can't believe she did that.
But this is the stupidity, like this, she's allowed to vote, right?
I mean, he's got a tattoo under his eye, like that's your dude.
Yeah, he's got a murder tattoo. He either is a murderer or wants to pretend like he is.
He's got him on both eyes.
And he's proud of it.
I don't know.
And you're going to bring this dude around your kids.
That's a number 4, it looks like. I don't know what that one is.
Those are teardrops.
No, that's a number 4 on this
Those
side.
are teardrops on this
that
side.
side it is?
Yeah, I don't know. No, that's not a number 4. It's a cross, I think.
Is it a cross? And then what is that on his eyebrow?
A name.
SOL, it looks like.
Who knows?
Can't tell.
Who knows?
Probably his last girl.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's not nice. I don't need to be mean.
Like, can you imagine, like, the delusion that Sensi lives in, right? To make themselves feel better, he has to sit here and say that I'm scared of him. Even though I've told him, like, you make me feel like this magical comment that cooks me, right? It won't let the long comments go through, so cut it in half, write it in 2 comments. Do what you need to do. If that comment, it shakes me, cooks me like you said it does, I will bring you live. I'll bring you live every day for as long as you want to be here.
Oh, I got a guy right here. What? What? Look down your... What the fuck? So do I get your face now or your face when I met you? Because those are different faces. I mean, it's the same face, but you look a lot different.
What do you think that face is going to look like in 20 years? When your skin gets all wrinkly and old.
Like him.
I don't think it won't look anything like him.
Without gray hair.
His face will be it'll look like a raisin. It'll look like a raisin. Right, she's got huge boobs, right?
Yeah, see there, it won't wrinkle like that because the boobs are so big, they're going to continue to pull that skin down.
Right. Oh.
So that'll keep that from wrinkling up. It'll just be stretched long.
Oh yeah.
It'll have like a scream face.
I love that.
How do you do that? You don't even know if you like spending the entire night with him. You have no idea. He's been in prison. She married him in prison.
Right. She met him in prison.
Through a friend.
She's never had sex with the guy.
Oh no, I think they've had, I don't know if they've had conjugal. I don't know. They've been married for a year.
You're not having sex or being with other people in the real world to keep your prison relationship going.
He's probably having sex.
What?
He's
probably got
little.
15 of them. He's got all kinds of girls putting money on his books and shit. There's a
She already caught him doing that before she married him, and then she still married him.
No. There's a show like
But he's probably fucking other dudes in prison. He's probably getting fucked.
there's a show about, I don't remember what it's called, but like 60 Days Out or something like that. Like it follows people who are getting out of prison and are in relationships. And so many times the girls are just these huge fat girls who the guy might not be like Casanova, even though Casanova was a short, fat, ugly man. He might not be like this Brad Pitt character, but he's not like horribly ugly. Plus he has prison body, so he's all yoked out. Why do you think he's with your fat ass? She's nice, but she has 2 kids. She has 2 kids. She's 40 something. Like this guy's what, 26, 27? Black don't crack.
He's in his 30s. He's a lot younger there. He's like 8 years younger, I think.
What world does she think this guy's gonna get out of prison and be faithful to her?
Like I said, he's probably doing all kinds of fucking.
Even if he's not, especially if he's not
cheating. I don't care if it's
especially if he's not fucking anybody in prison. When he gets out, he's gonna be like, I gotta fuck everything.
He's getting fucked. So you might find him in a gay bar when he gets out.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You can't say that. You don't know that. But still, he's in prison. He's been in prison. He'll be in prison. And then you're going to be like, okay, come on out of prison and come to my house where my children are.
I think he was 17. He's been there his whole health.
Oh my God. He has no concept. That's the type of guy. I mean, I hate to say it, but if you're going to ruin his life like that, you might as well kill him. Because keeping him, what's that going to do? That's just cost. This guy is going to, if he's been in prison.
They should be doing work, in my opinion. They should be fucking working.
I think.
Picking ditches, picking fucking.
I think what should happen
but whatever.
Is prisoners should maintain their own weed fields. They should be allowed to grow weed.
They should be providing, contributing to society. Because clearly they've been draining it for so long. That's the least they could do.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, to think that like the furniture builders, right? The furniture builders build a bunch of furniture so that some Jays can make money selling.
That's it.
Right? Like there's a lot of that shit that goes on.
No, all the migrant workers that Trump just ousted back to wherever they came from, and
I mean,
Make the prisoners
ditch diggers,
go do those
that's a
jobs
good
then.
idea. Road builders and whatnot. But,
Yes,
but even then, you need skills to do that nowadays.
they can be taught.
And it's dangerous.
Yeah, well,
It's definitely
so's
dangerous.
crime.
Yeah, but it's dangerous to have prisoners out like that. It is. And at the same time, there are so many of them that are so acclimated. They know. Like that guy knows. He knows if he's been in prison since he was 17, he's getting out. How many years did he have total?
I think he's got it was like 20.
Fucking 20 years in prison. He's not going to get out.
Bullshit. He got screwed. He was one of those young black men that got screwed.
Sure, he's gonna get, but he's had to acclimate to prison.
Yeah. That's what he learned adulthood is.
Mm-hmm.
Like he learned how to be an adult in prison.
From
By
prisoners.
fucking scary people.
Right, from horrible, horrible people. And it's not even like the prison it used to be, where the elderly prisoners did run things and sort of, it was bad, but
youngins at bay and taught them and took them under wings. And,
right, nowadays you've just got a bunch of fucking gangs and stupid kids running around.
And they'll take you under their wing, but it's a whole different dynamic there.
And like, that guy is not gonna come out. Even if he came out super well adjusted, and he came out with this great education, and he came out looking great, feeling great, with the best attitude possible, no one is going to see him with his face tattoos and his prison record and be like, oh, let me give you a chance. No job experience. You're how old? You've been in prison for the last 20 years. Here, let me give you the CEO job.
Well, let me even give you a chance running my cash register. What?
Or working with other people. I wouldn't, if I knew that you've been in prison for 20 years, since you were 17 and you'd just gotten out, I wouldn't want to work with you.
Nobody will be able to walk up behind him,
Oh, no.
Could you imagine working in a restaurant?
It's going to take...
Walks up behind the server right behind you, and turn around, blast him in the face. I mean,
Yeah. That's how he's trained to live.
He's going to be eating, covering his food. He's, it's bad. This one over here still finds himself doing stupid shit because of the 7 years he spent there.
And he's really stupid.
But it wasn't his whole adult life.
Right. I just
He's
can't
been
imagine.
out now quite a few years.
It's not a system that works. It doesn't.
It's not a rehabilitation system in any way, shape, or form.
If I would have went to prison,
Give him an education and teach him social skills.
if I would have went to prison for the bullshit, for the false charges,
Such a bad guy.
I wouldn't come out. I wouldn't survive.
I had to wait 40 years for you.
I'm too old. I'm too fucking old, and I would, I just wouldn't. They would eat me alive in there. And then my kids, who knew their father didn't do it, and their lives were completely changed, they'd be so fucked up.
They could be so mad at the world.
Right. So mad at the world.
Nathan would never trust law enforcement ever. He would never give them another chance. That'd be it.
Where would you guys even go? What would you guys even do? How would you guys even survive? That situation is just it's not right. I mean, thankfully the justice system actually worked for me, but it was after they had fucked up a bunch and they realized they fucked up. And if I had any sort of money, I would have been able to sue them for a bunch of money. What they did to me was wrong. Yeah. They made some huge mistakes. And they did it in a way that still to this day, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's very baffling. It's almost like, they had a bunch of shit prepared and just were waiting for that final little proof or whatever.
Or they set something up to be able to do something that we haven't figured out yet. My phone hasn't worked perfectly since,
Nothing was touched.
For all we know, there
they
are.
started searching because they didn't search right away. He did not release them right away. They all, were all standing in the living room and in the hallway staring at me. Once they started searching, they probably only searched honestly for like 15 minutes, maybe.
So for all we know, there's bugs in the house.
That's more likely. And then they just grabbed a random box of cards. We're like, okay, so we're taking this with us.
And then whatever they did to my phone, that they had to keep it for a week.
Because they said the warrant was for electronic devices, breaking and entering tools, and cards. Well, I had a laptop sitting here. I had, we had phones, we had tablets. They didn't touch any of the electronic devices. Nothing. They just took the cards, and that's it. Yeah, they did not search long. I was very surprised. It was almost like I remember going, that's it. That's all.
And then the guy that supposedly set it all up didn't get in any trouble?
Well, we don't know. Because that's not something that they would report to us.
No, because we would have testified. I would have testified. They would have called me in to testify. Fuck yeah. I like Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, because that's what it represents. The N-word also means ignorant, but is it ever used in that way?
I do. I use it all the time in that way. I'm a Charlie Chaplin fan. What can I say? I disagree with the idea that some asshole can change my facial hair.
Considering what Trump is doing and how he's acting, like that just makes it even worse.
I don't care.
Because that's the reference everybody keeps
I
making.
don't care. If somebody okay, I'm a happy. If this is enough to get you to engage in the conversation, then that's a good thing. I'm actually surprised nobody on the fucking feed started crying about it.
So you were just trying to bait people.
I mean, no. I like the look. I think it is a good look. I've always liked the look. Yes, I have. I've always thought it was a shame that I couldn't do it because of, and now I'm like, you know what? I can be who I want to be. I like this. Besides, I make it look good.
Sweetheart, you look good with a paper bag over your head. It doesn't matter.
That's not very nice.
You know what I mean?
God, you are nasty. So nasty.
You know what I mean? Gorgeous. Oh yeah, I wasn't smiling and laughing. Yes, you're handsome.
I know. No, I'm not.
But
I'm
that mustache is
ugly.
awful.
I'm ugly. I'm ugly. I look good with a bag over my head. Come on, that's funny.
You look great in a prom dress too. Doesn't matter what you put on or whatever. You're still a gorgeous man. However,
Wouldn't it be great if it was like you saw me standing there in a prom dress?
Mustache is awful.
Bam. Bam. See, I think that whole thing, the putting guys in dresses, black guys in dresses thing. I mean, I see it. I do see what's being said. And the reality is, like, that's them. That's the type of shit they think is funny. That's their comedy style. Just like musicals. They like musicals. Terrible singing, terrible songs. Tradition! Oh, what a terrible fucking... And it's so funny how, like, the people that do the reviewing and, like, you know, make the lists of what the best things of all time are, it also happens to be them. So then you hear these narratives like, oh, yes, that's one of the best plays ever created. What? You know what's a terrible movie? Scarface. Scarface is a terrible movie. His portrayal of a Cuban is terrible. You know what else is a fucking terrible movie? The fucking Godfather. The Godfather is a terrible fucking movie. You know what? It would be an amazing movie
if you took the 15-year-old out of it?
If you took the 14, 15-year-old out of it. And see, it's all part of, like, I can't help but watch it and go, well, you know, it's so we think that the Italians are the mobsters. That's why those movies exist. It's to perpetuate the Italian gangster stereotype. It's not the Jays. It's not the Meyer Lanskys. Even though in Godfather, like the ultimate badass and the one that ends up getting away with everything is Hyman Roth. The whole badass Italian mafia with all of everything they can do and da 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 da. They could not take out Hyman Roth. And he's the one that made out and, you know, escaped Cuba. You've not watched either movie. Wow.
I mean, Godfather is a classic movie.
It's amazing.
The fact that she is 14 going on 15 and 15 is fucking gross.
Well, that and it's gross. It's a completely unnecessary scene. It literally does nothing. It actually takes away from the movie. You know,
because it's gross, it makes it icky.
But not even that. It's just not that movie isn't like that.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That movie doesn't do anything. There's no sexual anything. There's nothing.
It just makes you wonder how much was edited out. And
I've already, got that. You know, yeah. But the I guess you do have Sonny. Sonny is caught fucking a couple times, but it's not like that. It's not like supposed to be. It's a completely unnecessary scene. Most of the going to Italy is kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
It makes the movie drag out a lot longer than it needs to. But most of the Italy part is about the seduction and relationship between at the time a character who's supposed to be 25 being played by a 30-year-old man, and his attraction to what is in the movie supposed to be a 15, 16-year-old girl played by a 14, 15-year-old girl. And just think about like the whole thing, like from the beginning. He's walking and oh, it looks like you got struck by a thunderbolt. He's just so, and I always watched that movie and thought like, what? That girl's not hot. Like, she's very homely. She's not a stop you where you're walking and look at her and be like, oh my God, I'm struck by the thunderbolt. Like, that's not what happens. And then she looks like a scared little girl. She runs off like a scared little girl. They go to her dad's restaurant where he basically like buys her, threatens her. It's very Jay Dowry kind of thing. But it's like, you know, I want to marry your daughter. I know nothing about her or anything. I just saw her and I want to marry her. And I'm giving you this valuable information because I'm a very high-ranking mobster. And, you know, you could either gain a husband and a son-in-law or die, pretty much. It's pretty much a thinly veiled threat. Like I'm telling you information that very powerful people would want to know. So if you know it, you're a liability and I would have to kill you. And so then they do the courtship scenes where like he gives her a necklace and he's out talking with the people he's closer in age to, like her father and uncles and shit. And they're showing how like like the Italian men walk and then the women walk behind them and all that stupid shit.
It's culture. It's giving you a background.
It's not culture. It's brainwash. It shows you how fucked up things were. We like it. We're not. You can't go back anywhere. Going back anywhere isn't great. And at one point, they're at the dinner table and he's talking and he's wiping his lip with his tissue because he has his broken nose and his face. He got plastic surgery and they had to accommodate that, so they wrote it into the script. And he looks over at her and she touches her necklace. You know, like a little girl. And then they get married. And then they go to the scene where you have to put it in context. This is a 30-year-old man.
25.
He's 30. Al Pacino is 30.
Yeah, but the character is...
Yeah, but it's a 30-year-old man in the scene.
But he's just acting. It's not real.
And you, like, as far as acting work goes, it's some of his best. He's really pulling off that he wants to violate this 14-year-old girl. That's what you can see it in his eyes, and he's just, and she stands there. Can you imagine, like, the camera's there? Well, and they say that the scene you see is actually the first scene, the first time they shot it, because they wanted all that raw emotion, and it was actually one of the first scenes shot, so they didn't even have that connection of having acted together or anything.
Make it as awkward for her as we can.
And then he just attacks her, and then the scene goes black. But like Ann said, you think that's when the scene ended?
Do you know how much footage they cut and you never get to see in any given movie?
Any movie, especially the sex scene stuff.
Yuck.
And the way it fades to black means it kept going. It wasn't like cut, you know. And none of it fucking matters. None of it fucking matters.
All we needed to know was that marriage was consummated.
Right. Let's see.
Apollonia.
Apollonia. And then she dies. And then it's like never brought, like he doesn't care. He just goes back to the States, and a year later, I guess, he's been home for a year, because remember he says, I've been home for about a year. He just hooks up with Kay, and he like basically kidnaps Kay. He like shows up at the school. Who knows she's not in a relationship or anything, and he's like, hey, Kay, come on, get in the car. Doesn't she have a class to teach? I'll let you ask me about my business this one time. Did you do it? No. Oh, Michael. And everybody comes in and kisses the ring, and she's like, wait, he might be lying. I love how they make those movies like this. It's the same movie. You know, Goodfellas, the same movie. Where you marry the gangster, and then you're gonna...
Surprised by the gangster activity.
Or the gangster wife role. Like, yeah, he's gonna have a guman. That I know the term. I'm not even Italian, but I know it because I've seen it a gazillion times. It's what it is. You're gonna be like Goodfellas when she was sitting there and they were all haggard old women in 3-piece sewn together suits, and of course she's a J. He marries the J girl, the guy who can never be the full-fledged mobster anyway, because he's not Italian, full Italian. He marries the J girl. And it's such a big deal. It's such a big deal. Oh man, it's just such crazy stereotyping that just continues to... I'm sorry!
Oh my God.
What's your opinion on Eyes Wide Shut? I never saw it.
I saw it once. I don't really remember it.
I mean, I've seen a lot on it and about it. Kubrick's last film, how it was re-edited at the last minute after he died, it was re-edited and they took a lot out and all that. I mean, it's
That came out in like
that was a long time ago,
late '90s, right?
early 2000s, something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, you know,
I don't remember it sticking out in my head at all. So it must not have been that.
it was
great.
after, it had to be before me,
Yeah.
because yeah, you would have. Now you'd see it differently. You know, you'd see a lot more symbolism than you would have seen Illuminati stuff. But that's Eyes
They
Wide
want
Shut
to.
is right. It's like it's one of those things where if they put it out there, it normalizes it. And anytime a like anytime a conservative, you know, person who wants to believe the narrative, if you, hey, did you know that they do this? They'd be like, you mean like Eyes Wide Shut? Yeah, I saw that movie too. You don't. It gives people that excuse, that way out. Like there are all sorts of little pieces to it. It's it's obviously fucking true. Like it's not like the story about them doing that kind of shit came because of that movie. Those stories have always been in existence. Everybody's always known how bad Hollywood is. But at the same time, it's like, you know,
They say it, but I don't. Do they really
no.
know it? Because if they really knew it, they wouldn't send their babies there. Like every time, you've made a comment to the kids in passing that, man, I should have never left Hollywood. You guys got to make it out there. Like, I just cringe. No, we don't want our babies out there. Period. If people stop sending their babies to these fucking monsters, then they'll have to retreat onto their own kind. Good. Let them. Like, it's our fault for sending our babies out there. Period. I don't mean, even if it's your 25-year-old baby, still your fucking kid. Don't do it. Don't send them out there.
She makes a point. She makes a really
You want
good
to talk about don't vote? Well, don't fucking give your babies to them either.
You know, the issue is, you know, how do you have the life then? How do you
Find a different way.
how? How? I mean,
Well, you
I
can't
think
have
about it
both.
even
You
like,
either want to change the world or have the life. You can't have both.
how many people actually still get shook down? How many people have brick and mortar businesses, especially in places like New York, that they have to pay protection to? Like how much does that shit exist in this world? According to them, it's everywhere. It's all the time. And I just don't know. The whole, you're right. You're right. Because what do you do? Like,
That's why people don't stand up and fight. Because they come to the point where they're like, fuck, I can either stand up and fight and try to help affect change in this world, or I can have the life. You can't have, and that's where that crossroads usually makes them choose the life, because the babies that you're fighting for won't get to live that life either if you fight. They're going to have the misery that comes along with the fight. So it's really not doing it for your kids. It would more than likely be doing it for your grandkids or great grandkids, which still counts. But you're not going to be the only one you take down that road of suffering
I
to
don't
fight the
think so.
fight.
I mean, I don't. It just depends. It depends
Especially
on.
if you end up dead. Now your kids have no dad.
Yeah, but I'm
And
not going to
change
end
still
up
didn't
dead.
happen.
I'm not going to end
And
up
they don't
dead.
have the life.
There,
So
there is no ending
lose,
of
lose,
dead.
lose.
That's not going to happen.
Tell that to all the homeopathic doctors that died.
I'm not a homeopathic doctor.
They're just one faction.
Yeah, well, they've done what they needed to do to me. Yeah,
I'm just saying that's why people choose the life, because they realize that's ultimately.
I've already said I'll shut the fuck up. Give me $20 million. You guys would never see me again. I'd do it at this point.
You're poor. It's cheaper to just kill you.
But when you create there is no, like, at that level, there's no cheaper. It doesn't exist. None of that shit's real. They make it. The money isn't, people always say follow the money, follow the money. The money isn't there, it's not there for them.
It's a breadcrumb trail, though.
But it is. And they laid those breadcrumbs. The money isn't there for us. Like, it's there for us not to have. It's not there for them to have it.
Is it dog white?
Probably. It's for us not to have it. That's the importance of money. To have you always trying to chase and have something that you'll never have. Or you might get super lucky and win the lotto or some shit. But if you win the lotto, they're going to take a lot of it. It's the craziest shit.
So stupid.
You win the lotto, and then you got to pay, like, at least a third of it to the government. For what? Isn't that fake money? Like, nobody's investing in that. It's the money that we put into it. Every dollar at a time. And that money was supposed to go to schools, remember?
Right. Was that all the schools they closed? The money go there? Or the shimmels that are still open that aren't teaching our kids anything?
And the reason they did that is because gambling wasn't legal, and the lottery was a form of gambling. Well, shit, now there's casinos everywhere.
Shouldn't that money go to the schools too?
Fuck if I know. It's all so crazy. Casinos are just such a waste. It's how do you think that exists? How do you think, who pays for all that glamour and glory? It's not because they're paying people out left and right. You'll see that commercial where they'll, like, swing through the casino and they'll hit a slot machine and somebody's hitting a slot, and then they'll go over to one of the tables and somebody's like, yeah. Then they'll go to a blackjack, and they'll go to something else, another slot machine, yay. And they'll pan through the casino and make it look like somebody's winning at all times. And somebody might be. But they're surrounded by thousands of losers at that exact moment.
And they've already lost 500, so they might be winning 200. But overall, they're down anyhow. So that little win.
There are some people that hit. There's no doubt.
There are some.
You might just get lucky and happen to hit. Pull the right lever at the right time or whatever it is. It happens. This fellow here has hate for Jays. He said it out loud in his stream many times. Maybe you can change his outlook on what he doesn't understand. He says, you guys are all Jays and you all need to go. I cross by and hear this anti-Semitic, wrong word, crap all the time. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. So some random person
wanted to warn all of your viewers.
Wanted to warn the viewers
that
in case
you don't like Jays.
Right. In case you hadn't heard it already, in case you were new, and that it's like, oh, hey, he doesn't like this, so
change his mind.
Don't watch him.
No, they didn't even say that. They said change his mind.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, change his outlook on what he doesn't understand, right?
Right.
Because I don't understand it. It's a lack of understanding that's led me to this position. It's not based on reading and all that.
Keep in mind, with every culture and every group, there are absolutely lovely things. But when you write down all the good things and the bad things, in this particular instance, the bad is so fucking bad that the lovely doesn't seem lovely anymore, and it's just something that's there.
Yeah, but even just fundamentally, the cult is fundamentally fucked up. If you believe that you are God's chosen people and the rest of us are are goyim, that is inherently wrong. That's inherently supremacist. That cannot lead to only good things.
It can't lead to any sort of equality.
No.
And freedoms.
No, and even those that say they're the best of them. Look, there's some Jays out there protesting against Israel. Yeah, but do they still support the baby penis cutting and sucking?
Okay, so the average...
They don't do it, sure, but they don't condemn it.
I guarantee you, my ex-mother-in-law did not know about that practice.
I guarantee your ex-father-in-law did.
Maybe.
Of course he did. I'm sure they had been to a bunch of brisses where they had to give their dowries. No, it happens. These are the things we tell ourselves because what we're talking about is so extremely awful that we're trying to make sense of it. It just couldn't. It couldn't have been. No. Of course it was.
My husband and his brother, who had been, bar mitzvah, they didn't know about it. Their little sister, who was born Jay, did not know about it. They had no idea.
But they were circumcised at Goyim style, traumatized within hours of birth. Right? And then there was a girl born, so it didn't matter. It wasn't a part of the equation. And they were dumb Goyim. They didn't need to know shit. Like, it doesn't matter. But I guarantee, where are all of the Jays against circumcision? When you understand that it's circumcision is one of their number one mitzvahs. It's the number one thing that they do. It's the reason why they've been kicked out of over 100 countries in the last 1,000 years. It's the reason why, they were persecuted. So they never talk about the why. And it starts with what they do to their own kind. Somebody has to protect those children. They're being mutilated and molested. We just get mutilated. Like, this is horrendous. And, there are a lot of Jays out there who oppose the genocide. Sure. Do they oppose Israel? Because Israel shouldn't be there. Israel is a horrible, horrible thing from its inception. Understand that the way that they started the process, the first town they took over, they succeeded because prior to attacking the town, they poisoned the water wells with Operation Cast Thy Bread. How many Jays you hear about fucking calling that shit out? That's horrible. We never need to do that again. And by the way, anti-Semitic is the wrong word. That's a racist term. I take offense to that one. The Palestinian people, the Syrian people, the Lebanese people, the Yemeni people, the Egyptian people, the North African people, all of that whole region of people are Semitic people. Black people, brown people, white people, all Semitic people. Nobody is opposing Semitic people. Semitism is a policy or predisposition favorable to Jews. Like, I didn't write that.
Somebody should really educate you so that you have a better understanding of things.
Right. I didn't write that. That's what it says. That is, that's why people don't always talk, he's anti-J, they don't say that. It's why they say anti-Semitism all the time. Because they don't care if you believe in their stupid nonsense. What they care about is that you believe they should get policy or predisposition favorable to them. So that means when they don't want you talking, you don't talk. And when you keep talking, that's anti-Semitism. And instead of you going, fuck yeah, it is, I don't give a fuck about your fucking supremacy, no. You go, oh, no, that's not what I'm doing. No. They've convinced you to back down. They've tricked you. Tell me what the difference is between that and a cult. What's the difference? How is the J thing any different than a cult?
Well, that's true for any religion. Yeah.
True, but this one is
That's a funny Greek last name.
This is the one that's the main control scheme. Like you can say these things. We always have our cop outs, but the reality is, if yours is the thing where you get $3.8 billion a year from the U.S., $2 billion from Canada, $1.2 billion from Australia, all these countries are giving you money. You're openly committing genocide, bragging about it, then saying you're the victim. You openly cut and suck baby penis. You have practices where women's vaginas are disgusting. They need to be cleansed every month after they're checked.
The fucked up thing about, hold on, pause there just 1 second. So and I've been to the different charity type of pep rallies. We talk about these villages in Africa. They don't know how to deal with feminine hygiene, so the men make them stay in a hut during their periods, and because they don't understand it and have any way to take care of it. And we take pity on those people, and oh my God, that's so awful. Well, let's go try to help and educate them. Yet this practice is still going on, and not only does the average person not know about it, but nobody's standing up against it that does.
They build the mikvah, the bath, before they build the temple. It's the most important thing for them to build.
But
to clean that vagina.
One group for doing that, but not the other. You know what I'm saying? That's so fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. This shit is on another level. So when you are allowed to do all those things, you should have very, very provable reasons why. I should be able to say, yeah, well, I mean, but they do, there's this, they build those altars that allow them to talk to God, so God can tell them they own property. So God can rename them. That one guy, he was Abram, now he's Abraham.
That wasn't God, that was Jesus, wasn't it?
No.
That was God.
And his wife, Sarai, is now Sarah. Yeah. I mean, the fact is, Goyim babies across the country are being circumcised within hours of being born. They wait 8 days. 1, because I guess God told them to, but 2, because the woman's vagina is so disgusting, it takes 7 days to purify.
So the men don't hold their babies when they're first born either? It's so gross.
I don't know. I don't know. Probably not in the Hasidic, communities. But this is because of that cult, we do something unbelievably traumatic to our own flesh, our babies. We believe our babies aren't born correctly, and we need to let them mark the baby as J property, just like the Bible says. Huh?
Who runs the medical community?
Exactly.
So, yeah, the doctors turn it into for medical purposes.
In the United States. In the United States, it's for medical purposes.
Told
That's because they've made it up. You tell me they don't know the trauma that causes? We gotta hurry up before we do anything with this baby. We gotta cut its fucking penis skin off. And the baby goes into shock. If you could see your baby go through it, you wouldn't let it happen. If you knew the process, if you saw how babies react to it, you wouldn't let it happen. These are newborns. These are hours old babies. They can't see yet. They can't hear yet. And one of the first things they experience in this lifetime is such bad trauma that they go into shock. They scream for a second and then they just, because they don't know what the fuck is going on. There's no concept of anything going on here. And we do this to our children, not like willingly, like forcefully. They've tricked us into doing this to our fucking children, and I'm crazy? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Our men, one of the first experiences our men have with other people is violence.
Violence. Horrible, traumatic violence. With the Jays, they wait 8 days. They have a party where the party is supposed to be overly joyous, so everybody there is joyful, but the baby isn't. The baby has experienced love. The baby knows that there are other things out there other than pain and violence.
Yeah, but the people that love you the most are the ones that hurt you.
Still doesn't matter. It is fucked up. It's not. It doesn't compare. Your brain is making the initial. An 8-day-old baby compared to an hours-old baby is like twice the size. Hours-old babies are these little bitty fucking shriveled up blue, they are the most fragile, beautiful things in the world. And what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing, you guys? All because Abraham and God made a covenant so that God would never flood the earth again. He'll show us rainbows. And he won't flood the earth. We get rainbows and just as long as those Jays continue to cut themselves and then mark their slaves, because he had to do all of his slaves. Everyone that's born into this and everyone that's purchased. Sports betting, I've seen a lot of problematic gambling, the amount of stimulus checks and COVID that went to crypto, sports betting, and how Pokemon cards are just... Yeah, but at least with cards, it's an investment. The other stuff, you're more likely going to lose. Right. Even if your Pokemon stuff, even if you sell it for $100 less than what you paid, say you spend all $600 and you only get $500 when you sell it 4 years later. Right. You would have had that money. Right. What would you have done with that money otherwise? You basically put that money on loan. After I heard you talking about it, I looked into it. Looked it up. And there is often a charge associated with it. Yeah, it's gross. It is fucked up.
What?
The mikvah. He said it is fucked up. Yeah, it's the idea that the J women have been brainwashed into just accepting this practice. That they believe they're so gross.
That just in the Hasidic communities?
No, it's common everywhere. It's a lot. See, a lot of the shit.
Never went to a mikvah. My friend Lori, who
but
was
she was a goyim. Oh, Lori,
Silverman.
Lori, you don't know what Lori never did. You see,
Lori when she was on her periods, and
you don't fucking know.
Her dad never made her. She lived with her dad and her brother. She didn't live with her mom and her stepmom, and she never had. Nothing was different during that time.
One of the hardest parts with you, especially, but with a lot of, is arrogance. Is the arrogance in thinking you know because you would know. Why wouldn't you know? They would have told you. At the end of the day, you want to think that Lori
She wouldn't be able
didn't think of you as a goyim.
to go out and go do stuff because she would be away at the mikvah.
Maybe. You never know what it was. Maybe she did it once or twice a year for all you know. Maybe it wasn't as common, but she's there, and maybe she did it as she got older. Who knows? Maybe, I mean, it wasn't like she was married and she had to clean herself for her husband when you knew her.
Oh no, she got married way late.
Right. So her mikvah stuff is later in life. You clean yourself so your husband, you got to clean yourself and run home so your husband can get him some.
I don't know. Her dad was very progressive. Her mom was more strict Jew than her dad. He was very progressive. So like he even married her stepmom was Christian and he allowed a Christmas tree in the house along with the menorah and everything. But you know, so
At the end of the day, just because
and
he's
that's why I'm asking: is it just the strict?
if he's a non-practicing in some way, he still defends those practicing. It's like it's like
Oh
you
yeah,
know
that would be his parents and his ex-wife.
absolutely. It's like you know that guy has been caught raping children a bunch of times, but he puts on these great festivals. Oh, he puts a bunch of money into these. He gets a bunch of bounce houses. It's where he gets the kids that he violates. But a whole bunch of kids in the neighborhood end up getting, you know, a really good time out of it. They get a lot of good time out of it. So it's okay that he violates a child every once in a while. Like that's how people think about it. That's what this J thing is. These average J's are the ones going, well, you know, I know this happens in our religion. I don't do it though, but I still will die defending the people that do.
That's every single fucking Christian that still attends church.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Christianity is so fractured and all that that people won't. It's not what it used to be.
Our priest doesn't do that.
And we
Our priest is
for
good.
sure that exists, but we are how like Christians are a hell of a lot more. You know, Christianity's way down, and even the people that identify as Christian are having trouble with all of the shit. So Christians. There are much less Christians that believe, you know, it doesn't matter what they do. They're the Christian, so it's okay. They might do that. It doesn't matter what they do. They're the pastor, so it's okay. But like average Christian, doesn't matter if you're a Christian, you're going to go to jail. Whereas with the Jays, it doesn't matter what you do. You're Jay, we got you. You know, that's how that works. Knows his stuff, people. I've learned so much. Once you understand, you break the veil, you see through most illusions. And it's everywhere, right? It's just everywhere.
Programming has been so thick and thorough. Like people just don't.
People
they
do
don't
it without
see
realizing it.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't see it because it literally is everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
That's
if there were lights surrounding you everywhere you went that were yellow, the world would seem tinted yellow.
right.
And then once those lights burn out or whatever,
Or once you go somewhere where you don't see the lights, that's when you realize, oh shit, there were yellow lights there.
oh my god, everything seemed antiqued and now it's bright. Holy fuck.
All right. I mean, but it's also that that whole Plato's cave thing, where you know the four guys were chained up in a cave, and the only reality they ever knew was the shadows on the walls, until one guy finally broke free, climbs out to the mouth of the cave, and looks out and realizes, you know, there's colors, holy shit, there's a whole world out here. And he goes back to tell the other ones chained up, hey, you guys were chained to a wall. This shadows isn't reality. There's a whole other world out there. And they kill him. Because they're more comfortable knowing their shadows, even though they're chained up, but it's what they know. And because it's what they know, they're gonna go against even a better option because it's you're breaking what they know.
Fear of the unknown is the most powerful fear out of all the fears. That's
I
what they
think
said.
it's combined with, though, with this of the fear of being wrong, the shame of like, for some reason, people feel this incredible amount of shame. Like, how could I have fallen for something so stupid? You know, how did I wasted so much of my life doing, instead of understanding that, dude, you were programmed to do that. Like, it's
You were
amazing
supposed
that
to.
you,
You were
right.
led to it.
It's amazing that you've broken free because you weren't supposed to. You know, especially if you have the parents, the family, the community that continues to push that shit everywhere you go. Like, I can't imagine if I had some overly religious family. I just never seen. I wouldn't be able to do it.
I had a mix. I definitely had a mix of both. Um, a lot more religious, but there were enough non-religious to make me feel comfortable, gravitating towards them because I didn't believe in any of it,
Yeah, but you also,
but
I
they
mean,
tried.
you
The
were Greek.
religious
You
ones
that was
tried.
what you did. Greeks get together as family and do things as family. That's part of that programming. That is going to ensure that you not only get your religious programming, but you also keep your racist programming. And it's just it's all part of it. The idea of these different tribes and that we're somehow different. That you know.
It's okay to be different, though. That's
Right.
the thing.
Absolutely. The differences should be celebrated, but
Yeah.
it
We
shouldn't
dance like this. We dance like this. Cool. Let's get
make
some
a new
real fun.
dance.
But you could still honor the way it originally was. There's nothing wrong with that.
For sure. I just, it's funny because it's like when it comes to so much of that, I go, okay, so who decides what? Who decides what things become tradition and what things don't? Who makes the because there were lots of things that used to be done that don't get done. We were like, no, that's stupid. But then there's these other things that we've decided somehow represent us. Like, I don't know. History is one of these things that, especially the deeper I seem to look into things, the more I question things. And the problem is, it's like it's just too late. As I've gotten to this point, all the people that can answer those questions are dead. And it's a neat little way to keep things under control.
I mean, so spinach pie. The Greeks make spinach pie, and so do
Spanakopita.
the Arabics. They make the version. Um, they taste very different. Um, that doesn't mean that we should, put them together and get a new recipe and never make those other recipes. Or no, I mean, there should still two recipes exist because that way, some people like this one, some people like that one, whether they're Greek or not.
Yeah, I guess.
There's
I mean,
nothing
I'd
wrong with
rather
that.
I'd rather take the best of both of those and make a.
Who decides what's the best? Because
We do.
I know
We decide
Marvin
what's
is
best.
gonna like his family's version better than my family's. I'm gonna like my family's version better than his. Not
Yeah,
because it's my
but if
family's,
if
because of my palate.
right, but if we are if we look at it, deeply, and we say, okay, what is it that you like about this version? And what is it you like about this version? Not what is it you don't like. What is it you like about this one, and what you like about this? Okay, let's see. Do those things match up? And how can we combine it? I mean, again, I don't feel like wasting time on stupid shit like that
It's just an
because
analogy.
it is an analogy, but it's such a low level analogy because comparing food preparation to viewpoints and stances and religious stuff and foundations. I mean, it's just different. It's just different. My dad growing up believed in God but did not practice any religion specifically. My mom was a Wiccan. That my dad was kind of the same, and I'm not sure what my mom believed. I really don't know. I know she was raised Catholic, but clearly didn't think much of it. And my mom knew that they were raised Catholic Like, the more I think about it, the more it's
To fit into the
Operation
American.
Paperclip. Right. They were raised Catholic because that's what the Americans did, so we do this.
Omi's family was probably Protestant, right?
I have no idea.
Her family back home probably Protestant.
I have no fucking idea.
And Opa was either Catholic or not.
Could have been a J. Fuck if I know. I don't know what the main religion in Poland says.
Catholic. That's why I said he was either Catholic or not.
I mean, I think that I seem to remember it being asking my mom and my mom telling me like he didn't believe any of it, but we did it to fit in. He was too smart. My grandfather was too fucking smart. No, he was too smart. He was too smart. The way he thought about things, the way he looked at things, and then whatever he supposedly experienced, how do you either A, be the Holocaust victim, or B, be on the other side? How do you do either and believe in God? It's just it is what it is. I don't. It was never brought up. You never saw any religious iconography in my house or in her house or anything. There's nothing like that. They just didn't believe anything. And then like my uncle, he went crazy Christian Catholic. He found himself a good Italian Catholic girl and went way down that path. I, I I don't think Mark and Sherry are anything. I don't. The only one that went to church was Henry. And Carl. Carl was super religious. Carl wanted to be a priest until he realized he couldn't. Because he was a giant. It's weird, man. But it's the strangest shit with my family. I mean, the fact that I got in trouble for asking questions I didn't know I wasn't supposed to ask. And when I did, huh? What? No, there's no water in there. The when I asked and my grandmother responded the way she did, where she was like very like standoffish. No. When I asked her if she'd ever heard of Operation Paperclip, and she said no. So really, you never heard of the thing with the nut? And she was like, no. I said, oh, okay. Like I got the picture. She didn't want to talk about it. My mom still practices Wiccan pagan stuff every year. She does some. I know. How do you say Sam Hain? Samhain. Ah, there you go. She does Samhain and the solstices. My dad just kind of says it is what it is.
On Criminal Minds, it floored me. He said it wrong. He said Sam Hain during one of the. I was like, dude, you're supposed to be super smart in this show.
Maybe that was the point, though.
Lost all credibility. You can't even say that right. You put that word into Google and ask Google to say it. It says Samhain. There's no.
I mean, it's understandable.
Right.
I would have no fucking. I would have never come up with. How is that Samhain? How is that Samhain?
Because it's a Gaelic.
What fucking world is S is S A ha in? Sa it's sa ha in. Samahain. That's what it says. There's no Owen. But, my wife's claws will come out when you start talking about this shit. And it's just so interesting to me because I see it the same way I see religion. You know, I
They're the festivals of the seasons of the year, though. It's all nature. That's all it is. It's all nature.
it's all distraction. It's all a bunch of stuff that you have no idea where it came from, no idea who came up with, who decided what, who decided this meant this and that meant that, and why they did and how they did. And, you know, it's a really great example of the power of suggestion. And so much of it is like, it's almost like taking advantage of, right? Like, you're never going to get your fortune told where they're like, holy shit, you're going to die in 2 weeks. Never. Most of the time, it's going to be like, you know, you're going to come into some money, you're going to this, you're going to that. It's always like the stuff you want to hear. They're selling you what you want to hear. They're selling you salvation. Jesus is listening. Just pray and you'll get your prayers answered, and, you know, you'll get some favor, and, you know, it's the same fucking, same shit. Sam in Celtic is pronounced saw. That doesn't make any sense. Why would, but this just adds more question to anything. Why would AM be pronounced AW? Who flipped the fucking letter over and was like, no, let's call it that? Like, these are the things that fascinate me.
I don't know.
You know, these are the things where, especially when you start looking into that stuff, you then start seeing a world that you're like, wait, what? You know, go look up Venice. Go look up Old London Bridge. Old London Bridge is, it's what? It's such a fucking crazy story.
But see, you have to remember we have been so well trained that when most people read that shit on their own, they're just reading over. It's a bunch of yada yada. They're not stopping, going, wait, and dissecting the dates and corresponding that date to other stuff that happened supposedly during that time.
Well, that's if it's school. That's if you're looking this stuff up, then you want to read it. Then you want to figure it out.
Well, but we're not trained to pick it apart like that. We're trained to read through those details and just go, oh, detail, detail, detail. Okay, so you have to understand.
Well, I get it. That's what the point is. That's why the people that don't, you know, fall into that category, the people that do, you have to say it. You have to. My big thing is to get you to say it. Right? I want to get you to say, like, well, that doesn't make any sense, or whatever it is. Like, I want you to see what you're saying doesn't add up. It's not me being mean. It's just it's the same distractionary bullshit. If we're all focused on some journey that we are supposed to attain, some this and that, but we don't actually know that. We said, well, you know, here I am, this American. I like Dragon Ball Z. I like the idea of elevating yourself and transforming into a higher being. You know, hey, this you know, this stuff's kind of talking. I can elevate. I can actually like get powers and shit if I do. Like, if I get deep enough into this, I can do like some pretty cool shit, huh? Really? Okay. And then you go off on these journeys and you start trying to find this thing that you're told to find. The whole time you're going, man, why can't I find a girlfriend? Why can't I be happy? Why can't I do this? Why am I not doing what I'm supposed to do? You know, whatever. And you, oh, you know what? I'm gonna, you know, it must not be the right star pattern. The planets must not be in the right positions. You know, next month would be a better time for me to address this, because then my this will have lined up with that. And, you know, these are all just different things that, instead of us going, hey, you know what? Why don't we lay our cards out on the table? I'm going to tell you what I want to do and what I like and what I don't like. And you have the option at that point to whatever I'm saying that you don't like or that I don't like, you can say, okay, well, that thing's important to me, so I'm going to keep doing it. That thing's not so important to me. I don't need to do that one, blah, blah. And then the things that you do like, well, I kind of don't like this, and I kind of don't, but I like this, and I like, and then I go, okay, so now your turn, you tell me, and I do the same thing, and then, okay, so what is it I like? What is it you like? You know, what am I? Oh, am I doing that? Do I do that? I don't even realize I'm doing that. You know what? That's something I can just totally try my best to stop doing. You know, that's just some weird behavior I didn't know I had. Let me try to fix that. Or I'm going to say, you know what? That's actually me. I'm sorry if you don't like that about me and that's not something you can get over. Then that's the next step and we go back and forth. And that's in every relationship we have. Whether it's, you know, it's our parents, it's our whatever, you know. We go into these relationships and like this is who I am. If you're not going to like me for me being me, that's great. I'd rather know sooner than later. And if you know, and if you don't like me, there's probably a decent chance there's stuff I don't like about you. Because if you don't like me, then we're clashing on some level. But let's hash that out. Maybe you don't like me because I'm doing something that I don't know I'm doing, or maybe I'm doing it because I'm insecure about this, or whatever it may be. But let's work with each other to try to figure these things out. Has nothing to do with the stars, has nothing to do with Jesus, has nothing to do with Allah. Let's just work together and try to figure these things out. Why wouldn't that be the best way to do it? I just and then to think like it's so not just about you. You know, how do you how maybe all of us that are struggling right now are feeling the pain of the hundreds of thousands of people. They say it's close to 200,000 if not more people that have been killed. You know, they might tell you it's 46,000 or whatever. No, it's like 200,000. Maybe we're feeling that. You know, maybe because they're taking our money and using it to do that, it's affecting us on some level. I just, how do we all know that Hollywood is full of pedos and there's not some like DEA task force that's going through Hollywood wiping all that shit out? Why isn't that happening? Why aren't we, you know, how does it make you feel in the inside knowing that you call yourself a Christian, Catholic, whatever, same shit, and your thing consistently, the religious leaders in your community especially keep getting caught violating children? And you got to keep going, I still believe in the God that lets that happen. Yep. You telling me that doesn't fuck with you? And if it doesn't, what's wrong with you? I mean, not only do Catholics and Christians literally read different books, but they're different religions with different church histories. Yep, that's what it is. They are just completely different.
No, it all comes from Catholicism. Sorry, sweetheart, if I insulted your Lutheran ass or Presbyterian or Baptist or Mormon, whatever. Y'all believe in God and Jesus. Guess what? That was Catholicism.
Which
and
came
guess
from
who created that? Okay, the Old Testament writers the original God's chosen people.
I mean,
Okay, that's where that all came from, anyhow. So deep down inside, you're a J, if you believe in religion.
and the reality is, none of that shit's true, even a little bit. It's all just, it's literally just dumb story nonsense.
We believe you should be baptized in water. What we believe, who gives a fuck how you do it? Do you believe in that Jesus was God's son, and Mary somehow got pregnant by, Sky Daddy, and Joseph wasn't pissed about it? Because, come on. Fuck off.
It's just dumb.
It's all the same. It's all the same stupid.
It really is. It's really dumb. No, because if you really get into it, then you're like, that makes you super religious. And then you get out your snakes. Remember how you get the snakes out, and the snakes are like, kiss the serpents, and
Okay, so in the north we say you all, and in the south they say y'all. Does it still mean the same fucking thing?
No,
it's still English.
No, it's totally different.
I mean,
it's totally
different. It's the same thing. It's just a different variation.
It's so
sorry.
It's funny because it's like, at some point, somebody, we're not really even sure how or when or I mean, Martin Luther, we get that narrative, but like somehow somebody was like, yeah, so I like this, and this, and this, and this. I don't like this part. So I'm gonna.
Mary has a baby by some dude. Joseph is there and they're doting, and these three fucking strangers show up on camels, and one's like, "Here's some gold, here's some myrrh, here's some frank for your new baby." What the fuck? Can I have some blankets and clothes and?
No, they're in the manger because there was no room at the inn.
So they give him some fucking, thank you.
Those stories, dumb. It's all like, it's insulting. That's the part where you just, I don't get why you're not insulted by it. It's not like Jesus came down and was like, hey, you live on this ball. It's flying through space at a gazillion miles per hour. There's life everywhere in the universe, and, and don't be slaves. Jesus was all about the slaves, man. Slaves need to obey their masters as they would Jesus. You're a goof. You're a goof.
You should see how much he eats. He eats so much.
Yeah? Sit
While
down.
he's teaching us gay sex, of course.
Of course. Sit down and shut up. It's just wild, man. I just don't get why anybody would want to believe it. The shit you have to overlook, the stupid you have to be, so that you can give money to the church every month or every week. So that your people can consistently get caught violating children, and you got to go, yeah, well, Adam gets, man, free will. Free will does it. It's just wild. And the crazy part is how difficult it is to, like I'm the one that's going against the grain. Why is it so difficult to find people who proudly believe what they believe and are willing to have conversation about it? That's so strange to me. People act like something's wrong with you when you give them the opportunity to talk great about their God, to share the good word. The people that go door to door, whether it's the Mormons or it's the Baptists trying to pick up your children in their church van, or it's the Jesus, the Jehovah's.
It's Jesus. Oh my gosh, is he coming back?
These people that literally go door to door,
Oh, God.
sometimes in cold weather, and like they
were
just,
doing it yesterday in the neighborhood.
who cares? They get doors slammed in their face over and over and over and over again. If you go, hey, yeah, I got a table right here. Need some water? You want to sit down? Let's have a conversation about it. They will run the fuck away. You start asking questions. I've literally had them tell me that they don't want people who ask questions. And I was like, so you just want people who comply? Like,
Yes.
what are you talking about?
Yes.
And we've been put on a list
Help
of
them
people
spread the good word.
who don't want to hear the good word. So they don't even come to our house anymore. Even though the last couple times I was nice to them. Well, not the guy that tried to pick up children.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't.
But
That wasn't. That was a Jehovah's Witness. That was Baptist.
Right, those were the Baptists that came by. But the Jehovah's that have come by, I've been very nice to.
Well, they're also not trying to steal your kids, so that helps.
I couldn't believe it. This guy came to our house talking about, we have a church down the road.
That's not even what he said at first.
We're here.
We are here to take your children.
No, he didn't. He said we have a church down the road, and we're here to offer rides to children to your children if they can't get a ride. We got a van. We'll bring it by.
He said that after his first statement stunned me. I sat there with my mouth open.
You weren't there when I first started talking to him. No.
Yes, I was. And then I had to go to Marvin's and let the dogs out.
Yeah.
And I heard you guys outside because Faith started barking.
Yeah.
It was. Shit, my husband was walking with them.
But the thing, I was just trying to talk to him. I was like, I started asking him, like, I wanted to talk to him. You know, I said something about how, you probably don't like gay people, right? And he was like, I do what the Bible says or something like that. And I was like, so you don't like gays? And he's like, I don't like sin, and kept saying. So I said, all right, so you base this on the Sodom and Gomorrah thing, right? And he was like, absolutely. And I was like, really? So let's talk about it. And as soon as I started going into it.
Well, they think that you're taking the word and twisting it.
No, you could see he knew where I was going. And his face dropped. He was like, oh, fuck. He's going to do this, isn't he? And that's when they first started walking off. And
I know, I had already left by then.
Right.
Because I walked past them and they stood all back and let me go by.
It was right when I brought up that he gave his daughters to, he wanted to give his daughters to the rape mob. And he was like, well, that's your interpretation.
Right. That's what they say. You're taking the word and twisting it.
No, I'm absolutely not. I read it yesterday. I don't know the exact goofy English that he uses, but he says, instead of taking these two guys,
you're just misinterpreting it.
Take my daughters and do with them what you will.
Nope, just misinterpreting it.
And people say, how do you know they were young teenage daughters? Well, they were betrothed to be married. And back then, you didn't get betrothed to be married at 18. You were sold off 13, 14.
$18 is still a teenager. Hence teen. The end of that word.
I mean, it's always been one of those things where I just there's no way. I mean, I get they're hot and stuff sometimes. They look young to me. At 46, they all look young to me.
Right.
But even in my 30s, it started to happen. But I just could never imagine hanging out with one of them.
Right. Beyond the visual attraction.
Although they are really forward now, and they'll be like, okay, hey, do you want to go fuck? And you're like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. Like, so there is that. I know I was still in my 20s. It was before you, like shortly before you. But there was a girl who Sean brought home, and she was like 19 or something, maybe 18, I don't know. But it was Sean and his girl, and they had a friend, and I was like laying on the couch, and I was like I wasn't at all in any mood for anything, and then they show up, and sort of start partying, I guess, a little, and they go off in the other room, and I'm sitting there talking to the girl for a minute, and she's like, so, and that was it. She's like, are we gonna go fuck or whatever? And I'm like, oh. And talk about intimidating. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was. It was like there was just nothing there. It wasn't even like I had spent the night, out with this person, being attracted to this person. It felt really weird and wrong, and I don't know.
Disconnected.
Yeah, totally. But I'm,
At that point,
guys can just fuck holes. I mean, I wouldn't have minded if I had more warning. I don't know. I just couldn't help but think, like, what the fuck is wrong here? And she just was so young. It was just weird. And I was 26, 25, right? Yeah, because I knew you at 26. Wasn't fun. So different being a guy. It's just different. Like, to have that happen to me was strange. For women, that's like what you guys deal with all the time. And you just think like, ew, that's gross. How do you just, because like, you're so used to turning that down. That's basically every guy's being nice to you. Strange. That is so terrible. She's not telling stories about me in a good way, I guarantee it. I didn't do a good job. What a loser. That shit's so, it's so weird because it's like, that's how we're programmed to be. And then the majority of us find ourselves in situations like that and end up feeling empty. You don't feel this sense of satisfaction and accomplishment and
It
but
just happened on such a deep-seated, like, telepathic level, basically, that you didn't realize it. And that's important. It's an important part of intimacy.
I guess, who knows? I mean, of course, intimacy is important, but I'm just saying we're programmed to be that way. That's, any guy would have given their fucking, she was hot, so they would have given a whatever to be in that situation.
They say that.
Right.
But then they get in that situation, they're going to feel that same
They
disconnect
chicken out.
that you did.
Or they chicken out. I've chickened out of things before. And it's because we are taught to be, well, at least our generation. I think it's changing. I mean, I really do think it's changing, and it's such a pendulum swing. That's why it's so different. That it's not like it's balanced out. It's just swung so far in the other direction. But I think it's a good thing. It's leading to change. It's taking the power away from the dudes, which is a good thing. But when, like, my generation, the people in charge of things right now, we didn't grow up that way. We grew up being told, man is man, woman is this, she's supposed to be this, she's supposed to be this. And we're definitely supposed to be, intimidated by strong women, powerful women, secure women. Because that, if you're powerful, strong, secure, if you're doing this with me, you've done it with somebody else, and they probably did a better job than I'm going to do. So I know you're going to be thinking about that and not thinking about, and I'm not going to be doing,
But that's not true.
I know,
Like I
but
said,
that's how we think.
If you start off with that telepathic connection first, you are in that moment with that person. Maybe after the fact you do your comparisons, whatever. But in that moment, that's not happening. So you boys that are thinking that and feel insecure, please try to work on that insecurity, because in that moment, she's about you.
Yeah, true. But there's a lot that goes like we are, what a lot of chicks don't realize is like we are under so much more pressure than you guys think. So much more pressure. Because we have to do a good job. If we don't, you're going to run into hell. And,
Okay, so again, let's swell that insecurity. We will only tell if you're super bad.
Go watch Hollywoodism.
Or super inconsiderate. That's it. If you're just not great, we're not gonna tell.
Yeah, but that's just it. We want to be great. That we want to be the, it's like.
I'm just saying, if you're insecure thinking that people are gonna run your mouth that you're bad, that's only if you really suck or you really go into it so obviously that you don't give a fuck about anybody but your own nut. That's the only time that we're gonna tell.
Sure, but you tell a lot when you don't tell. When you're not walking funny, you tell a lot. When you're not glowing and gushing, you tell a lot. We all want to be that guy. We do, and no matter what you might think,
So you want to be talked about, but just only in the good light.
Of course, who doesn't? What female wants to be talked about in the bad light?
I mean, I'd rather just not be talked about. But that's,
Well, but you don't have. But see, that's it,
but
because
there's
it's
a different
different.
Reason for that.
It's different. It doesn't matter if you have a reputation for being bad. Guys will still give you a chance.
Well, there's that.
If you're bad, if you have a reputation for being bad, no girl's gonna give you a chance.
I also experienced where, I'd have sex with them and then they just fucking totally fall in love, and then I had to deal with that.
What are you talking about?
That was something that would always happen.
Wait, who you had sex before me? Yes, so, Hollywoodism. It's the best thing you can watch. Just look it up on YouTube. The link will be in the description. If you have to go, it's in previous videos descriptions. Go watch Hollywoodism.
So if you're excellent, then you've got people like actively seeking you out to get some. And then you have to deal with even more people that fall in love that you then have to.
But that's what
break
you
their
want.
hearts.
That's what you want as a guy.
But
'Cause-
as a girl, that sucks having to
Sure
break
it
the
does,
hearts.
but as a guy, again, as females, you just don't understand that. Like you don't have to work. Patrice did the thing that I sent you the other day. It was great. Patrice does a part in that bit where he's like, no chick has ever been like at the bar, like, got to sit there and come up with, what am I gonna say? How am I gonna make myself stand out and get this guy? No, you've never had to do that before. You've never had to like try to come up with something clever and then sell yourself so that the person picks you.
Girls start having to sell themselves from the time they start getting ready in the
You
bathroom
are
or picking out
lying.
their
No,
outfit.
you do that for other females. You do not do that for us. We do not care. And
You think you don't care.
we don't.
But that's not true because, you know, they've done those experiments where, you know, the girl that has it all together, well, that
She's going to get more attention, probably more unwanted attention. But the good-looking guy, the guy that you guys have the equal amount of chances. Unless, of course, that guy is well put together himself and thinks, well, I don't want to date a chick who doesn't even want to be bothered to be put together. But that's only because he has lots of options. But that's rare. That's rare. That's not your average frumpy ass chick who can just, she goes to the gas station and as she's, going and buying some ho-hos, some dude's like, hey girl, let me holler at you. Some dude that's actually much better looking than she is. That shit happens all the time. You guys just have no, the fact that you argue this is just, it's infuriating. You have no fucking idea. She has no idea what it's like to want to fuck someone and not. Whether, not because she couldn't. There have probably been times where she was with somebody or whatever and thought, oh, that'd be fun. But never was she single. There was another single guy and she thought, oh, I want to fuck that guy. And wasn't successful. Unless he was like total loser, wouldn't make the move, wouldn't do anything. Maybe. But no guy has ever been like, no. Hey, can I buy you a drink? No. That's never happened. You've never, hey, hi, can I buy you a drink? You can walk up to guys and be like, hey, you want to buy me a drink? You'll say you never have, sure, whatever. But girls, that's your idea of a line. Hey, you want to buy me a drink? Basically, I might get a little more drunk and find you a little more attractive.
pretty much what that says.
Yeah. And it works. You have no concept of what it's like to get yourself all dolled up.
And what sucks about that is at the end of the day, that girl, that's not who they want. The guy that works on.
It works on every guy.
It's not a sustainable attraction.
It works on every guy. Especially if you're attractive enough. Belch. Excuse me. But you have no idea what it's like to get yourself all dolled up. Look in the mirror, be like, I look good tonight. I'm going to go out, I'm going to have me a good time. I'm going to get me some pussy. I'm going to get me some dick. And then you go out and you're at the end of the bar, at the end of the night, the lights go on and you're like, oh, guess I'm going home to jerk off then. Never happened. That's not how it works. You don't have to be attractive at all. If you're at the bar late enough, somebody will be like, hey, I want to go home. Yeah, okay, cool. You guys are just, it's just crazy. I say this all the time. I could go outside and stand at the side of the road for days on end before somebody would stop. One of my neighbors might stop because they're like, dude, what are you doing? I noticed you were out here for a couple hours. What's going on? That might happen. I might have an interested neighbor Hey, what you doing, man? Something like that, or just stopping low. That might happen. No stranger is going to stop and be like, hey, you need some help? Hey, you need a ride somewhere? My wife could be standing out there for fucking 15, 20 minutes, and somebody's going to stop and be like, hey, what you doing? They might not be super Brad Pitt attractive, but you're going to get the option. And when you realize, like, when you women, you have to understand these kinds of things. Maybe if you have more of an understanding of that power you wield, you'll be more responsible with it. I mean, damn near every guy has been that super nice guy. They were super, super nice. They thought, no, you know, I know the rumor is that girls like assholes, but I don't want to be an asshole. So I'm going to be nice. I'm going to do what she wants to do. I'm going to rub her feet. I'm going to blah, blah, blah. And that broad walks all the fuck over you. And you either realize, like, oh shit, there's a reason why everybody says girls like assholes. There's a reason why that asshole got my girl. I need to asshole this up a little bit. Or this cycle just repeats. It's just, it's, but see, the biggest issue is the whole, like, count. The idea that you're supposed to get your count up and that you're supposed to be this conquering hero, you know. That's one of the biggest problems. I can tell you there have been a few relationships that I've screwed up because I thought, you know, what do I care? Thinking I want to get laid, not realizing that if I would have been in a relationship with a, you know, a good chick, I'd have probably gotten laid a lot more. No, I was like, I need to get those numbers up. I need to get those numbers up. Because, you know, the numbers matter somehow. And part of it is like, it's like if you like Transformers and somebody gives you a Transformer, you're gonna be like, oh cool, let me change it. Let me change. No, let me play with it. Let me do what the Transformer is supposed to do. Let me turn it into the robot, turn it into the car, turn it into the robot, turn it into the car. And if somebody gives you another Transformer, you're not going to be like, oh, I just played with that one. I have this one. Or I have one at home. It's a completely different model, but I have one at home. And I play with that one. You're going to be like, oh, sweet, let me see that. Oh, cool. And you transform that one and play with that one. And then somebody comes in with a big one. And you're like, oh, man, that's a big one. I bet that thing's going to be fun to transform and untransform. And you do that, and then you get a little one, and you're like, oh, I don't know. Well, you know what? I kind of like these ones. But it's like every time you see a new Transformer, you're never like, oh, well, I've played with enough Transformers. I don't need to see how this Transformer transforms. That's one of the big issues. Ooh, I wonder what her titties look like. Gee, I wonder what kind of head game she has. Because it's all different. You know, some are better than others. I would imagine it's even worse for chicks because, you know, especially since so many chicks are in relationships where they're not sexually satisfied. To then turn down options that might actually satisfy you, that has to be a strange thing. I don't know how that happened. Doesn't happen in reverse. There's not a guy out there that's married to a chick that can't make him fucking come. It doesn't work that way. Until, of course, his dick stops working. But and this is all that stuff. This is that LeBron James stuff that we have to work on. Because if we're given the reins to the fucking sleigh, we're not going to be able to control it right now. We have to be better us before we can, really assume control. The reason that we're not in control is because we're not the best us. If we were our best us, we'd never let this shit happen. If we were the best goy we could be, there'd be no J control scheme. There'd be no pedo nonsense. We'd wipe that shit out. It just wouldn't exist. We'd realize, like, you think like me. Shit, no, we're not accommodating a cult anymore. Fuck that. Guy for president, 2028. That's what we're doing. I'm done. You guys have a wonderful day. Same old links will be in the description. One to the website so you can get the free download. One to Facebook so you can watch the videos. And one to Hollywoodism so you can learn something. Because Hollywoodism is the best thing you can do. It will blow your fucking mind if you let it. You gotta watch it. You can't be doing other shit. You have to pay attention. You might have to rewind a few times. But Hollywoodism tells you all you need to know. So that link will be in there. Go get your free download. Have a great day. And pedophiles, kill yourself.